talk about Quip Live Apps, which is something that I've had personal experience with. And we're going to show you a real-world implementation of this from Salesforce that we actually use every week. So this is my first time speaking to this group, and I've been attending this meetup quite frequently, so I know you're all lovely people. About me, I am the newest developer evangelist at Salesforce. I joined in August this year. Previously, I was a software engineer in Salesforce. I bring with me 3 years of React development experience, and that's part of the reason why I took to Quip Live Apps so quickly, because the sample apps are built in React. Oh, and that's how you can reach me, anny.he@salesforce.com or at Anny He on Twitter. Yes, I need to put this up. So please base all of your purchasing decisions on what's readily available, and you can find that on Salesforce Investors Relations page. OK, that's enough. Let's go. Move on to the fun stuff. What are we going to talk about for the next 30 minutes? First of all, I'm going to ask you some questions about Quip. Then talk about where to find Quip Live Apps, because there's so much that's out of the box. You probably, most of your use cases, you don't need to build a Quip Live app, but I'm still going to show you how you can build a Quip Live app. I'll demo the Quip Live app we've built internally for Salesforce Toastmasters. Then we'll go through like literally building an app and review the code that we have open sourced. Finally, I have a trail mix of all of the resources, so you don't have to take pictures and squint to see which is the GitHub link. Yeah, by the way, that's trail mixes. I didn't bring food, so,
Right.
Yeah, OK. Cool. So let's now jump into Quip, because there's no better place to show Quip Live Apps than actually in Quip. Yeah, I have a lot of screenshots. I don't even know what they're for, but OK. Let's make this bigger. OK. Big enough? OK, let's try that. So Quip Live App presentation. Maybe I can do this to make it even bigger. OK, so this is a demo page. Actually, I need to get that back because I need a toolbar. So where to find Quip Live Apps? By the way, who here uses Quip? OK, so we have a few people who are on the fences. Out of those people who raised their hand, who uses Quip Live Apps? Geez, Lindsay, you're like the only one. Well, I also raised mine. Yeah. Well, we were expecting very cool demos from you because you're the expert. Anyway, where to find Quip Live Apps? You're probably using a live app, but you may not know it. So how you can find cool apps to use is if you click on the apps and templates. And look at this. You have
Apps and templates from where? What
oh, the toolbar.
No, what side are you on?
I am on the left side, the apps and templates. Oh, sorry.
Salesforce.quip.com. OK.
Oh, yeah, that's the org.
OK.
Yeah. But this toolbar should be available.
Like you would have like protontext.quip.com maybe or something.
Yeah. So once you have your Quip installation, you can just access it through the browser. And then you click on that, and you can see. So some of this is Salesforce specific. The video is a third-party one. Task Array, I think that is also third-party. Lucid Charge, very cool. Surveys and Smart Sheets for project managers in the room. Yeah. So this is a lot of functionality you can just get out of the box. So you don't need to build live apps for most of you. Another way you can access Quip Live Apps, just to find out more information about them, if you click the Get More Live Apps, you'll go to the App Exchange page. And you can see the descriptions of the different live apps. As you can see, there's Task Array, Lucid Charge. You can see it's lightning ready, and all the information here, for example. If you already know the name of the live app, it's super simple. For example, Cody is already here, but we can do at something, and you can see these are all live apps. So project tracker is very useful, and Salesforce record checklist. So I have some of this already instantiated. So Cody, for example, you can do select sticker and change it to, okay, who should we change it to? Einstein or Appy, Sassy?
Happy.
Appy. That's a cat. Okay, yeah. So this is something that we have internally. It's a lot of fun. If you don't like it, you can delete it, but we don't want to delete Appy just right now. Cool. So yeah, the secret sauce is at something. So the countdown, for example, if you you're counting down towards your holidays, maybe you're going on vacation, you can't wait, you can have this.
Retirement.
Yeah, that's that's maybe what is that going to be like 1 year from now? Yeah, I wish. No, I love my job. Okay, cool.
So that countdown is a live app?
This countdown is a live app.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just insert it with at countdown. And now I can add another one.
I hate when I see those in Quip documents. That means you know how much time you have before you have to get the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can change when it will be due. So maybe the demo is tomorrow. Wow, that would be very stressful to look at it, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Especially when it's like less than an hour, huh?
yeah. Well, if it's gets too stressful for you, you can just delete it. Yep. Okay. So that's a lot of fun to explore what is out there. Now, if you really want to create one, here's the reasons why. So for example, if your user is in Quip and you need data from somewhere else, for example, Salesforce, so you can connect to Salesforce and do the entire OAuth and get the record from there. And like, there's all of the, by the way, all the stuff that I showed you is available on Quip App examples. So the source code is already there. Just saying. Oh, you can't see any of this. So if you're curious about how the countdown works, you can go to Quip Apps examples, go to countdown, and you can see the folder structure. Yes, it's developed in VS Code. You can look at the app source, all of this. Yeah. So you already have this at your fingertips. That means if you want to modify for your own purposes, you can. Yep. Cool. And then we're gonna come back here. Okay. Another reason you might want to have a Quip Live app is to improve the workflow. For example, implement some reusable business process. We have a calendar, we have a Kanban board, we have a project tracker. Like for example, this is a calendar. Of course, you can go to next week and so on and add events. New event, what is happening on December 6th? Review blog, maybe. Not terribly exciting, but so everyone is on the same page. Then the project tracker, of course, I'm sure a lot of you have projects within your company. You can select which project you want to do. Okay, so blog for Salesforce. Owner, you can add a person, of course. This could be, I'm going to pick on my coworker, Heather. Status, deadline is a date, 2 days from now, and you can choose file. So this is really useful if you're managing projects. So everyone is on the same page. Kanban board, of course, you can drag this around. You can add a new part, say blog post for Lightning component, for example, and drag that to in progress when you're in progress, and change those colors too, and put it onto done when you're done. So all of this is out of the box. It makes Quip really fun to use.
And this is not running in a Salesforce org.
This is all off of the platform.
This is all on Quip's platform.
This is on Quip's platform. The live apps, when you instantiate them, all the data is on Quip.
Okay,
So if you make a Quip Live app, that's hosted on Quip as well.
all right. And would it be a fair comparison to think of live apps as like Lightning components?
We'll look at the
Some
code.
that are pre-made and then you can make your own?
Yeah,
Sort of drag them in where you want them.
yeah, you can think of it that way. The key thing is that just remember this is off of platform.
Yeah, all right. I get that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just, you jumped right into where you can find them, and I'm still struggling to understand what
Okay.
they are and where you were, and,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just to clarify, this is off of platform.
Okay.
Like all of these technologies used to. There's a lot of React in here, and we'll go into React later.
Can you go back to the one to the live app about connecting to Salesforce records?
Yep.
Just,
You will need to do OAuth to authenticate, and I don't want
so
to.
you set that up once, and
Yeah.
then it stays live, stays up to date?
Well, it's you have to cache it.
Yeah, it stays up to date. You can refresh it. You can push data back into Salesforce and it's
Okay, so it's way.
bi-directional.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does that just use like REST API?
Yeah, I mean, this is off of the platform, so you sort of have to use the REST API. Yeah. The source code for that one is on examples and Salesforce record. So you can look at how exactly does that.
Okay. And you said you have to set up OAuth. There's no single sign-on? Like, can you log into Quip with your Salesforce?
You can log into Quip with your Salesforce account, but that doesn't that logs you into Quip. It doesn't necessarily establish your bridge back because you need to log in through a connected app.
I see. Once you've got that set up
You're done
for a user or for the org?
for a user.
For a user.
For a user.
You can copy that document, right, can't you? And then give it to another
Mhm.
user, and they just have to individually OAuth in.
They don't even have to OAuth. Once you've connected once, the Salesforce record caches the data in Quip.
Okay.
So it's read only at that point, and so you could see the data. You could share data from Salesforce at that point.
But it wouldn't update?
It wouldn't update necessarily unless you had the ability to read data from Salesforce.
Yeah, all of that is out of the scope of this presentation.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
That could be an issue with security though, right? If you authenticate, if I'm Charlie and I authenticate into Salesforce for my Quip document, then I show the Quip document to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have permission to see some of the things I have permission to see,
Right.
couldn't that be a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can share clicking by clicking here. So add people, like, for example. Yeah. It's very fun to use.
In a future release, we should give a warning that the person you're about to share with doesn't have access.
I think it's I think it's by design that it does work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just snapshotting the data.
You could take a screenshot in Salesforce and paste
And
it somewhere.
share
It's really
somebody
not.
that's
Yeah,
not supposed
yeah
to
it's
see the
really
data,
not.
right?
You know, it's an image of something that you chose to share. So you know.
Is there a roadmap for deeper integration with Salesforce?
You know what? I'll save all of those kind of questions for my talk because it covers everything there.
Okay.
Yeah, Lindsay is a key contributor to the Quip Apps repo, so he knows what he's talking about. But then again, he does have a speaking slot later today. So can we please?
Sure. Sorry.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know what you're talking about too, so.
I know what I'm talking about for the live app that we built.
Okay.
Cool. So this third reason, which is, by the way, to improve workflow, the third reason is to automate data export, is the reason why we actually implemented a Quip Live app. So I want to show you the sign-up sheet for Salesforce Toastmasters. By the way, who is new to Toastmasters? Okay. Cool. So Toastmasters is a public speaking organization, It's a nonprofit, and we have a corporate group within Salesforce. So we meet every week. That means we need to have an agenda every week with people signed up every week. And we actually put all that information into Quip every week. So if we look at one of the older agendas, we have a lot of, this goes way back. So for example, we just put all of the information in here. You can see from week to week that the roles, like the Toastmaster, Joke Master, like all that stuff is the same. The only things that changes is the people's names. So the use case is every week we need to get people to sign up here. If they haven't, or we need to bug someone, we can mention them here. So it's like a great collaboration tool. If we mention them here, then they'll know to come to the Quip doc and fix something. So that is what we did for every week. The drawback of using Quip natively and not having a live app specific for this purpose is that we just wanted to print a section of the document. Like for example, just this meeting date onwards until the next meeting date for every week. And how we did that is we actually we edited a HTML page and we copy pasted the names onto the HTML page. So this is for our members and this is internally. So the process from putting the data from our internal Quip to the agenda that's public to all of our members was a very arduous one because, as you can imagine, scrolling through this, I'm not sure if you can even see it.
We don't want to see it.
Yeah, it's intended so that no one wants to see it because, like, if you copy paste it over here, you have to look at what's the right role and hopefully not make a typo. And if you accidentally refresh the page, you have to do it all over again. So this is a very bad process, and it's in need of improvement. And since all the data is already in Quip, like it really just makes sense to make a Quip Live app, right? So we don't have to do all this manual labor because Quip already knows who's signed up. So if we scroll ahead to what we have, or for example, this one, see the meeting date is pretty much the same thing. You can see that it's a Toastmasters agenda. This is a live app. And you can see, you can cut, copy, delete it. Yeah, all this fun stuff. And you can see it's fully filled out. And guess how many clicks this takes to print the agenda?
One, two,
Okay,
3.
it's actually 3.
That's okay.
That's okay. It's
I
much.
just saw the save and print button. I thought that would be it.
Yeah. So what happens is, what happens. Okay, we'll just do a demo. Is when you click the button, which anyone in the Quip doc can do, opens a new tab, and you can see that in the holy crap. I don't think you can see that. Maybe just make it bigger. Oh, it's not getting big. Anyway, the URL, there is a question mark data equals this entire, oh no, I made it even less legible. Okay, but basically, this page sends a JSON, like a key value pair, of the roles and the names, and puts it in the URL here. And this page, which is just a static page, uses the JSON and populates the person column.
Where is this page hosted?
This is a static, I believe it's on GitHub. Yeah. So this is just a static page. It takes input from the URL and populates it here. And it also has, the nice header and footer. So yes, let's count the number of clicks. So that is 1. This is 2. And that is 3. So 3 clicks.
So what you built into the live app was an HTTP call. that packages up the JSON?
It's specifically we use the Quip Live Apps API to open a URL, and we encoded all this data and stuck it to the end of the URL.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then how does it work? It looked like the Toastmasters agenda was like a floating UI element. Is it like whatever you're hovered over, you can pick which section to print, or?
So it prints this entire agenda. So we have a separate agenda for every week.
If like you have to add the live app to every agenda section, or do you add it once to the whole document?
Well, so it's every week we have a new agenda. So for example, this is a different agenda. So the live app is,
Right. So for the meeting after this one, for the,
Mhm.
go to the, when you're going to need the new one.
this is the newest one.
Right, that's the newest one.
That's the newest one. You can see it's not filled out yet.
Okay. So how do you create the one for the meeting the week after that? Do you have to copy and paste it or drag it?
No,
in?
no, no. So how we do it is it's always at the name of the, holy, the internet is slow today.
Oh, I see.
To,
Okay, so you do an at, and then you basically call the live app that you created. And
Yeah.
it creates a new instance of it, a new record of it.
I swear to God, the demo gods are not liking me today. Come on! For some reason, it doesn't recognize the at here. Oh, yeah, I think it just thought that was a text field. Toast. Okay, it always works except for now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strange though. Yeah, it's type add to insert, so I think maybe the page is just overloaded because we have so many live apps on here. But if I go to another page, I should be able to. So yeah, toast, yeah. So that page is, because we have like over 20 live apps on there, I think it froze for a little bit. But yes, so do at whatever the name of the app is, and it will render like that. So when is the meeting? All of this is like placeholder stuff. So insert a date, and sure, tomorrow. More than likely, it's like on Tuesday. Right. And then add a name, add a name. These are filters.
Mhm.
So this is not native Quip, but this is a React component that we built. So if they had a leadership speech, for example, visionary leader, you'll add it over there. We can cancel it, and so on. So, for example, mentorship. Introduction, sure. So that is specific React component. So the good thing about Quip Live Apps is you can reuse a lot of code that is already in the React ecosystem as well, if you come from that ecosystem. Yeah. Cool. So that is a demo of the Toastmasters agenda. The code is already open sourced, so we're gonna we're gonna go through how to create. Actually, why don't we do that right now? Let's create a Quip Live App. So right now I am on the Live Apps for Quip. This is the official documentation. There is reference docs, very useful. Example apps, recipes, of course, GitHub. If you read through all of this, so why build on Quip? Because you can take advantage of a lot of features and have your custom workflow. So let's create a Hello World app. Basically, an app just says Hello World because that's a really good place to start. Prerequisites, of course, you have to have a Quip account and be a member, have Node installed. So Node is the JavaScript programmatic runtime. Node package manager installed because, of course, you're going to install dependencies. And you're going to run this command. So I already have this, but I'm going to run it anyway. So, wow, this is a small terminal. OK. So if you do this, you're telling, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's clear this first. There. So what you're telling the terminal to do is to install create Quip Apps, which is a bunch of commands. And if you use the -G, it tells it to install it globally. So you can go to any directory and run create Quip Apps something. So you're not just limited to workspace, for example. So we're going to install it globally using the -G. And it's going to take a while.
Lose the S on the end.
Oh, I don't know why I did that. Okay. Yeah, that's working. Cool. So create Quip app. These set of commands have been installed with this version. And now let's see what you need to do is to, in Chrome, you will need to set this flag to allow Quip to consume your code from the local host. We're going to do some local development so you see how this works. I already have that enabled, so we're just going to go create your app. So the Quip Developer Console is a very fun place to be. If you just click here, create a live app. OK, so you get this funny looking app ID. This uniquely identifies your app. So we're going to copy this because we're going to use it later. And run create Quip app, my app in your terminal. OK, so my app is the name of your app. So you could substitute it with something else. For example, what do you want to call it?
User group.
User group. Wow, that was fast. OK, so that's going to create a user group directory after this finishes, and also install the dependencies. You can see that it is fetching and installing, and it's working very hard. But after all of that finishes, we should end up with a directory structure like this. So package.json. OK, how many of you have done Node app development before? OK, so everyone. So this is a pretty familiar directory structure. You have the dependencies installed and the webpack config for bundling, and manifest.json for all of the configuration stuff, plus some React files. That's the .jsx extension. And we also have a .less. So the less is a CSS preprocessor. It basically allows you to write more concise CSS. Cool. So let's see that we have, OK.
Hasn't been a couple of minutes yet.
Cool. So yeah, this is the folder structure. You can see if you go to the Quip apps, the GitHub repo, all of them have the similar folder structure as this one. Let's see. OK. The internet is a bit slower today. But yes, any questions for this step so far? It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. OK, so if we want to move on, we need to paste in our app ID, which I believe I just need to copy this again. And then go over here. Almost done. OK, happy hacking. Yes, happy hacking, everyone. Cool. So now I can open that in my Visual Studio Code. You can use whichever code editor you like. This is going to be in workspace, and the newest one, user group. Oops. OK. Wow, very small. OK, much better. So yes, we have, whoa, OK, too big. OK. So we have the app with a manifest.json. This is the config file, and we will replace with the app ID that we were just given. And then we have the user group, version name, and yeah. We'll just leave the default as it is. The more fun stuff is in app.jsx. It's better if we look at root.jsx because we'll notice that it just imports the app and renders the app. So this is very minimal lines of code. Basically, tells us to look into the app. And the app.jsx, all it does right now is returns this markup that says hello world. Right. This is like the simplest. Well, I guess it's with a little bit of styling. The simplest app with a little bit of styling, and if we look at the styling, it just tells us to display it relatively justified in the center. So it's very simple, just 3 files, right? The component, the CSS, and the root, which renders the component. Okay, so what do we expect to see when we go to a Quip app, Quip page, and instantiate it?
Hello world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a whole.
Good guess.
Yeah, that is a really good guess because it's a Hello World app, right? So here we are do what is our app called again? User group.
User group.
Okay.
You still need to build an
Oh yeah.
Did you have to do
I-
commit and build?
Right. I need to do npm run build. Forgot that part. Okay. That's what happens when you don't follow instructions. Okay. So give your app name. Yep. Run npm build. Right. We need to be in the directory. See user group. Do npm run build. And what that tells us to do is written in the package.json. So build command temporarily sets this environment variable and tells Webpack to pack everything up into the app. So that's what it's doing. And if we look at it here, it is doing that. So after that, we will be able to refresh the page and add it to the page. Okay, so built it to app at app.le. So le is a compressed format. So if we go to Untitled, we need to refresh it because we just built it.
And in the console, you want to upload it still, right?
Oh, right. See, I'm very eager today. So development. Oh, sorry, upload. So upload, yeah. You need to upload here so the Quip, the platform, knows about the app. So if we go to workspace, user group, app.le, open, and upload. Okay, development build successfully updated. Refresh the page. So Quip should now know about our user group app that just says hello world. Okay. There we go. Took a while. So insert, and we should get our hello world. There we go. Yay! Yay! Okay.
We wrote our first app.
We wrote our first app together. Yeah. Yay, go team. Okay. So yeah, hello world, you can do whatever.
We need a plugin for Visual Studio.
Yeah.
You can do all that stuff from
QuipDX.
QuipDX. Oh, I could have done it in the integrated terminal. Is that in the plans?
We're taking feedback.
Okay. Yeah, that's why Lindsay is here, right? To take feedback. Okay, that's a great idea. Cool. So develop your app. We're gonna make some local changes here, so you can see how rapidly we can prototype. So we're gonna use the other command, which is npm run start. This will start the Webpack server, and it will. Yeah. So once we have that, what this means is that we can develop this locally. So we enable the use local resources. Yes, well, we left this at default, AAA, so we enable. And it shouldn't change anything. Yeah. So then we go back here. Okay, folks, what do you want to change?
Let's make a banner out of it.
Okay, that's a little out of scope.
Okay.
So we'll just do hello user group. Okay, so that is easy to do, and we will just
Dancing sausages. No, I'm just kidding.
we want to generate sausages.
Yeah, that's nice.
Animated GIF.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, so for our simple use case, we just changed it to user group. You saw that was like really fast to edit. If you want to change the styles, it's super simple. So just you can add more CSS here. So just say background red. And you will see that if you reload it, change to red.
So you're not even pushing it because it's reading it off of the local drive?
Yeah, that is why you had to set the Chrome allow and save part. But it's so good because you can develop it locally and prototype, and this is like really fast iteration.
Could you do this offline also?
Yeah.
Once you're
That's
once
what
you
the
have it all-
local host is, and then you have to push it up, right? I mean, that's bad.
Yeah, so the key with local development is that no one is going to see these changes unless you do the build and deploy again.
So if you had shared this with someone already,
Hmm.
they wouldn't be seeing these changes,
They would not be seeing your local changes, no.
right? Because you'd have to repackage it. and put it
The npm run build, yeah.
Sorry to be using that. SFDX.
Yeah. So yeah, SFDX has its strengths, but again, that is the Salesforce platform, and this is cool. So if you look at more all of this documentation, you see that you can change HTML and you can change the CSS. So understanding. You can read about this later. So we actually use initialize callback in our custom app. And then what's going on, you will go more into detail. I highly recommend go through the build a sticky note app, because what we just did is like static HTML, and the building the sticky note app actually takes you through how to use the persistent data store, which through Quip is called a root record, which is what we also use for our Salesforce app.
And where is the data stored?
It's stored on AWS, right?
Quip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not so much like a relational database, it's more like key value kind of stuff. Or?
You can ask me after any talk.
Okay.
I'll go.
Yeah, cool. So that is our very simple app. If you want to look at our more full-featured example, it's at Quip Toastmasters. That is open sourced, and I will show you the trail mix with all of the information. So you can see that we have a docs folder, but overall it's the same structure. So the app, there's the app.le, the manifest.json, there's a source, and there's the package.json. So if you look at the source, the main file is root.jsx, is this one. We extended the root record, and then we also extended the rich text record. So the rich text record is another one of the Quip Live Apps APIs, and if you look at it, we have details of a string, and which project and manual is the speech. So this is more specialized than the regular rich text record. But yeah, you just use the extends. As in Java, if you're coming from JavaScript land, it's very intuitive.
Okay, so that's how you nest a live app in a live app.
we're not nesting anything. We're just extending the Live App API, which, if you look at the reference docs, it's very thorough. So initiation, there's the environment, and then there's special actions. Opening a link, this is what we used. The record, all of this stuff, the record list, so we didn't use that. The rich text record is what we extended from. Yeah, there's also images and getting user information. And yeah, cool. Back to our app. So the root, there is a few instance methods. Who has developed in Lightning components before? Okay, a few of you. So think of this like as JavaScript controllers. We don't have any Apex here because we're not on the platform. So we have post to path, which is the so this is for saving our stuff to the Google Sheets API. So we actually post the JSON there too. This is using the authentication request. All that stuff is in the OAuth section of the documentation. The refresh token is for refreshing the OAuth. The set speech, this is for the speaking slot. So we have the different speaking slots, and this is like a custom value setter. So this is not using like the regular rich text record, which you don't have to set this explicitly. But if you're using a custom one, you need to set it explicitly. And we're forcing the UI to update. The open tab is just basically sending all that long URI encoded stuff in the URL. Eventually it sends. Yeah. Quip.apps.openLink. Of course, then we have to render all of this fun stuff. So we get the root record. We get all the persistent data. Then we render it. So yeah, all the different speakers, and you can see we use a lot of the rich text box. That is what's available out of the box, and if you add data in there, it's persistent, and you don't have to use like a something.set something. You don't have to use a custom setter. So this is what we use out of the box, except for the speaker pick list. And then we have an open tab, which is the big blue button that you saw. Yeah, that is about it. So this very complex component we just covered it, and it has some CSS, which any web developer is very familiar with. Yeah, and then we have some custom React components as well that we used in the root.jsx. So that is how our app is organized. And we benefit from it, I want to say every day, but most likely it's every week. Cool. So now let's go back to the slides, and I want to show you the trail mix. So if you want, you can go to bit.ly at Quip Live App. I'm going to come back to that just in a sec. But basically what you get with that is you get a walkthrough of the Quip and Salesforce integration. I'm sure a lot of you might be interested in that one. There is also a step-by-step walkthrough. Actually, Lindsay did that in the Trailhead DX of this year, like walking through all of the getting started with the Hello World part and how to use the developer console. The GitHub has a sample Quip apps, which is the stuff that we just I mentioned to you. That is where the official source code is for the out-of-the-box apps. And then we have the Salesforce Toastmasters Quip Live App. This is also open source. So if you look at the link, it is here. So bit.ly. OK. There we go. So if you want to take a picture, that is the easiest way to get to everything. Cool. Any questions?
Where's the exercise that you went through just now? Is that in one of the bit.ly links, or is that the link to the trail mix?
The official documentation, you mean?
Oh, is that what it was? OK.
Yeah, the official documentation, actually, now that you ask about it, Get Started Official Guide is this one. So that's like the Hello World stuff. And that is in the bit.ly link, yeah. Any other questions? Okay. I'm sure Lindsay will handle all the complex questions you throw at him, so. Thanks.